Hey everyone, this is Rachel and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. If you hang out until after the video is through, there are always detailed shots of my current layout. Let's get going! Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Lift and Sketch with Christy and Rachel. Today we are working on that lift from Jana. She is a really good YouTuber and I cannot remember her last name off the top of my head, but I will try to put a link to her channel if I can. Now I am using a bunch of gifts from friends, which I think is super awesome. I have two 2x3 photos. Now these are smaller than what I normally work with, but I actually had this planned as part of a 2-page layout, but when I was looking at these photos compared to my other photos, this is from the crop I went to last October in North Carolina, given by Heather's Crafty Life. And so these are photos of my table mates, Kathy and Cherie, and then this is Tisa, who's also a YouTuber. And so I wanted to have these photos separate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a correlated page. So the two pages are going to be next to each other, but I'm going to be telling two different stories. So I'm using this lift to tell this story. And then I'm also using my friend Deb. When I went to a crop back in March, she gave everyone the entire paper collection for I Love Crafting from Echo Park. So that was incredibly sweet of her. And what I did is I used my silhouette and I made a title. So similar to what Jana did in her layout, but obviously she stitched and I don't sew. So I did pattern paper rather than all white. And then my friend Nancy, who I've cropped with several times, sent me a whole bunch of the mini sizes of Heidi Swapp Color Shine. So I chose 4 of the ones she sent me. She sent me so many more. I was so touched and blessed by what she did. So I chose 4 of them that I'm going to use to spatter all over my cardstock as Jana did in the original layout. All right, I'm going to go ahead, get you guys put on fast forward and get started working on this layout. Before I do, I just want to say, make sure you head on over to Christy's channel and check out her take on this lift and see what awesomeness she did. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead, as I said, get you put on fast forward. So let's get going. Before I forget, I want to say it is Jana McCarthy. That is the person we are scrap lifting. She's actually on the Paige Evans design team, which is why I'm familiar with her. For those of you who don't know, I'm a big fan of Paige Evans' design style. All right, so as I mentioned, I received the paper for the I Love Crafting line, but that's all I have. I don't have any embellishments or anything like that, but luckily this line is filled with pages that have plenty of things to fussy cut, so that's what I'm going to do for this particular layout. Now, I am going to do something I don't normally do. I have these two 3x4 photos, these two 2x3 photos, and what I'm going to do is put them together, and using the crafty and happy piece of paper, I'm going to back them together. Now, I don't normally do that when I'm overlapping them. I would normally mat them separately, but I just felt it like this way for this particular one. So the other piece of paper is what I use, the something fancy and floral. That's what I use to cut the word framed out of. And I want to make sure you knew that because this actually is a newer collection. I've been mainly working with a lot of older collections lately, so I haven't been showing the papers. So I did want to do that for this particular one because I would assume it's still available in different places. So I'm going to, as I said, make use of the papers that have icons as well as these 3x4 cut apart sheets because once again, you don't have to use them as 3x4s. You can trim out whatever you need to. So I'm trimming out things like a traveler's notebook, a photo box, cameras, a typewriter, some floral pieces, um, a mason jar. The other piece I'm using right now is Create Beauty. And I'm also going to cut out a couple of these that are on top right now, the ones that look like what you'd cut out to then put on one of those boards that are the painted boards that are really popular right now. I'm sure y'all know what I'm talking about. I want to do one so bad, and there's actually a place that opened up in my town recently, so I'm thinking I'm going to see if I can talk my best friend into going with me and painting some wooden signboards for. Well, to be honest, that will probably just sit in the corner of a room for a little bit before I actually hang them up. Okay, so random. So now I'm cutting apart some of these 3x4 cards. I'm looking at the coffee cup, that floral piece, and then this heart circled by a wreath. And those are very fancily called 3x4 journaling cards. Hey, at least it's on the nose. All right, so I've got all that going, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull out a piece of white cardstock, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Since you're going to miss a whole lot, you should probably do that before you start fussy cutting and give that time to dry, which is awesome when I actually remember to do things, in a timely manner. All right, so I'm going to use 4 different colors of these awesome Heidi Swapp color shines that Nancy sent me. I started off with hot pink, and then I moved to butter, which is a really yummy yellow. And now I just did peacock, and I'm going to finish off with citron. Citron? I never pronounce that word correctly. It's the extra N that confuses me. So I'm going to put that aside to dry, and you'll note I did a ton. I did an absolute ton of those. But most of it is going to be covered up. So if you're someone who wants to try misting, try putting it down first before you put stuff on your page. And that way you're not wasting it because you can always just flip it over and use the other side if it doesn't work for you. So another gift I got at the crop I just went to were these dollar store foam thingies. Those are from my friend Crystal, I believe. And I did that to the entire word framed, and then I did it partially. Right now is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do part of the back of my photos. First, I'm going to start off doing the wrong side. Basically, I want to be able to tuck the corner of those photos behind the word framed, so I don't want to pop that portion up on the foam dots. I just want the portion that's not going to go under the word framed. And now what I'm going to do is just tuck various pieces that I cut out. This is the leftover from the coffee cup, that yellow piece, and I'm trying to see if I like it just as a piece of color, and I don't. I do not like it at all. So that goes the way. And now what I'm just doing is I'm basically building a circle behind the word framed and my photos with all the different things I fussy cut out. Now, I am not an excellent fussy cutter in any way, shape, or form. In this particular time, I wanted to leave that white circle because I didn't want it to have that harsh color. I wanted to have the white halo around it. If you don't want the white halo around it, and you want to trim up, a really good trick is to ink the edges or take a marker to the edges of your fussy cuts, and that makes it look a lot cleaner than you actually cut it. So what I'm doing now is I'm going around, I'm just leaving everything where it is, and I'm going around with my Art Glitter Clear Glue, which is my go-to liquid glue right now, and I'm just lifting it up and putting a little liquid glue. This is not something I do normally. This is very Missy Whitten. But I didn't want things to move. I liked the way they looked, and now I've jumped ahead and everything is down because I didn't move anything. So I'm like, why watch me glue things down when it can be magic of editing and be done already? Next thing I'm going to do is pull out these Alex pink foam thickers. They are, there's also a silver striped one in a cardstock, uh, not cardstock, chipboard that has the same font. It's from Amy Tangerine. It's one of my favorite fonts. And I'm going to put these down, and I don't realize now, but they are incredibly crooked. And sometimes it bothers me, and sometimes it doesn't. And in this case, it actually bothered me. So I'm going to go back and fix that. I'm just adding a couple of the asterisks from that line. And now I'm going to add some enamel dots. So I'm just looking for some that work color-wise. I grabbed these. These are actually really old. They're from Basic Gray. And I'm just going to use a pink, an aqua, and a green and put those in 3 different places. And when I'm placing it here, this is when I'm realizing, I think this is really crooked. I think I might have to fix that. But before I go ahead and fix it, I am going to pull out this Ellie Studio label in aqua trim, and that's where I'm going to put my journaling. And I'm just going to talk about how we had so much fun with this photo wall. Heather had decorated it beautifully, and then she brought out this gold frame, and we had tons of fun playing with this frame. There were so many pictures taken in front of that wall. It's hilarious.
Um, but that is going to finish off this layout for me today. I'm just going to go back and fix the letters right about now. And so as I'm finishing up, I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining me. I've got quite a few new listeners, and I always appreciate the ladies who have stuck with me for several years now. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. If you want to head on over to Christy's channel and check out her video, I will provide a link in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. I really do appreciate every watch, every like, every comment. Y'all are super awesome. All right, folks, bye.